Yo, 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 it's your boy AA Ron. I'm back at you with another one, and I got a special guest today, my mom. No. And today, our topic is going to be about fathers. Since Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, we're going to talk about the fathers. And I just got my mom joining me here today, and she's going to talk about her experience with my father. So, let's get ready to do this. All right. So I'm gonna just ask you a couple of questions and everything, and then you just gonna answer it,
Yes.
and we're gonna go from there.
All right.
All right. So check it out. So the first one is we all know that you all got divorced and everything, and so I just want you to elaborate on how was the breakup process for you with that.
Um, I first want to say Happy Father's Day to all of our fathers out there, especially my father. I love you, Daddy. Um, but to go back to your question, it was terrible. Yeah, the breakup was horrible. Um, it took me over 2 years to get over the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really bad. I never forget it. But every day is one day at a time. Sometimes 1 minute at a time. I had to do it to
Mm-hmm.
get through it. But I got through it. I got through it, and the Lord brought me through it, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. It's been almost, how long has it been? Maybe 15 years now, maybe even longer. But God brought me through it, and I'm here today.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So during that time, like you kind of learned how to cope with being by yourself. Like was there any resentment in that process? Like how did that process play out? Like from beginning, and like what did you have to endure from that process?
Um, it was painful. Um, I, some days I just think that I wouldn't make it. I was like, Lord, please, help me. And even in that, I still felt like, because I felt total rejection.
Mm-hmm.
I felt total rejection from the whole thing. And even in that, I still was looking for him to respond to certain things that I said or I did.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just total rejection for me, and that made it worse. Sometimes I just wanted a hug from him, and I remember Mom saying that, don't do that because it just make the situation worse. So I had to just endure and just trust God and kind of let that go. But it was hard, after being married for so many years and having three beautiful children. It was hard to let it go, but I know it was the best thing for me.
Right.
I know it was the best thing for me. I had to move forward. It was time for me to move forward. God had greater for me. But yeah,
So in that
just
in that process of moving forward, could you say that God played a major role in the process of you moving like forward? Like,
oh God, if I at that time, people used to encourage me, oh, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay or whatever. But I didn't want to hear that.
mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to hear that it was gonna be, because I wanted, my marriage back. Knowing that it wasn't good, that wasn't good for me. I didn't want to hear them say that it's going to be okay. I was looking for the person to say, oh, it's going to work. God's going to bring it back together. God was going to, whatever,
Right.
whatever. Um, but I knew that it had to, I knew that I needed a change. I knew that we needed to separate because it wasn't good for
Right.
us.
It wasn't conducive.
It wasn't conducive. So in my heart, I knew that, but just holding on to something that was familiar. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to hold because that's all I knew.
Right.
He was all I knew. Even though it wasn't good for us, I still wanted it,
Right.
but I had to let it go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, was there was there any disagreements that you all had? You
Um,
know.
all the disagreements, of course there were so many disagreements, but one thing I did was in the marriage was, yeah, we had disagreements, but when the marriage was over, when it came to an end, what I did not do, and mom taught me, not to, but what I did not do was talk about him in front of my children.
Mm.
Our disagreement, me and my ex, was our disagreement. It wasn't the children. The
Right.
children didn't have anything to do with it. So I did not talk bad about their father, with them.
Right.
I mean, I've made a felt a lot of things, but I did not discuss it with my children. I kept that to myself. Me and the Lord, God helped me through that. So yeah, I think it's a major mistake to talk to your children about their father, especially if it's negative, because I don't want to plant a bad seed inside of them.
Right.
As they grow up, that seed get bigger, and when they're older teenagers, they're not going to have anything. They're not going to want anything to do with their father. So I did not. Purposefully, if I'm saying that right,
Mm-hmm.
did not talk about their father with them. All the things that happened, or the things that wasn't so good, or how I felt, I kept that inside me and the Lord. Of course, I might have tell, my mom or whatever, but not my children. I did not want my children growing up feeling like
Having that bad taste.
having that bad taste
Right.
about their dad in their mouth. No, 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 no. I did not do that.
Right.
I did not do that.
Okay. Well, that's good, because that does create bad seeds, like, and even from a child, from a child growing up, like throughout the years, is like it creates resentment
Yeah.
in the children, and that's a pretty good thing that you did by not, saying anything. If you have an issue or a problem, you got to keep it amongst yourself. It's not good to just talk bad or talk down on people, because that negativity and that spirit can get on the inside of somebody else.
That's
you know,
right. And
and
then
stuff
let
like
me, if I can say this, mom and dad got a divorce.
Mhm.
And when mom and dad got a divorce, let me tell you, my mom never said a negative thing about dad. And dad left us, I think we was about maybe 7 or 8 years old. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and it was 6 of us.
Mhm.
He left 6 head of children with my mom, and my mom never said a negative thing about dad. If she did, it wasn't in front of us. So as we grew up, and I'm 51 years old now, and I love my daddy. I mean, I love my daddy like as if he was there. He grew up in the house with us, the whole entire time.
Right.
But he left us when we was around 7 or 8 years old. I was, of course, my siblings a little older, but we never had a negative thought about daddy, or a bad seed growing up inside of us about daddy.
Mm-hmm.
So to this day, we love our daddy because mom never spoke a negative thing about him as when we was growing up.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And so in this conversation, we'd like to talk about the importance of fathers.
Yeah.
Because we're approaching Father's Day, and fathers play several roles in our lives, like as regarding to, implementing in your children, as far as going out, going to work, providing for your families and stuff like that. Not only just for money, but fathers instill teaching in your children and stuff like that. And we just want to thank the fathers for being the fathers in our lives. My dad, had, left to do his own thing, but that didn't stop him from being a good father. Every now and then he'd call and check up on me, make sure I'm doing good and everything. He'd send me some money here and there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for my dad, because he taught me a lot of things. He instilled a lot of knowledge on the inside of me, and I'm forever grateful for my dad. Even though him and my mom didn't work out, he still being a great father.
Yes. And I'm glad you said that because with your dad, my children dad, we didn't work out, the breakup was horrible, but he still loved his children. Um to this day he still and he do for his children. I mean, if they need anything, they can go to their daddy, and their daddy will come through. Their daddy was always there for the kids. That's why I'm saying it's so important not to put a negative seed in your child as they growing up, because them children gonna need their daddy when they get older or when they're younger. It doesn't matter. They're gonna need their father. It's just so important not to place that seed inside of them, um, because they can still have a relationship. Even though daddy may not be in the home with them or grow up with them, daddy still can have that connection with his children.
Right.
It's just our job, the parent or the single mom or dad job, not to talk bad about your spouse or your ex, rather it's a woman or a man, because sooner or later, them babies gonna need that parent figure in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my kids have an excellent relationship with their father, even though we got a divorce or whatever. But they still have that relationship, that bond with their father
Mm-hmm.
to this day.
Yeah. Perfect relationship. Is there anything else that you want to add to, about Father's Day?
The Bible says, train up the child in the way that he should go, for when he is older, he will not depart.
Mm-hmm.
It starts when they're young, y'all. Everything starts when they're a child. When they're a child, them children remember things. Gosh, they can hold on to stuff and they remember. So the Bible teaches us to train them up in the right way, train them up in the way that they should go. And part of that is training them up to love their mother or love their father. And because this is Father's Day, I'm going to say train them up to love their fathers. Right. Even though you don't really agree with them, that's between you and him. That ain't got nothing to do with the children. So you train them children up in the way that they should go. And when they're older, now that my son is older, he have a good relationship. My girls are older, they have a good relationship where they won't depart. They will always remember.
Right.
They will always remember what you said, because you have such an impact on your child. Whatever you say, it goes in, and the seeds are planted, rather it's good seeds or bad seeds. It's planted in your child. So be very, very careful what we teaching our children. Right. And like I said, my dad, I love him. I love you, Daddy. Happy Father's Day to you, and happy Father's Day to all of our fathers out there. You guys are doing a good job. You go out and you work every day. You taking care of your families. And I just want to say thank you. And thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, ma'am. Fathers, we want to say thank you. We appreciate everything that you do. Keep moving. Keep allowing God to just lead you so that you can lead your families and be conducive and be in a symbiotic relationship, so that you can work in a symbiotic relationships with those around you, your kids, your family. And we just thank you and just keep continuing to do what you are doing. Well, until next time, peace. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining.
Bye.